This is a podcast episode I intended to record 12 months ago, announcing my intention to climb Mount Aconcagua in Argentina, one of the 7 summits. But a lot happened in 2024, and the episode never got recorded. So this particular episode aims to share my experiences of 2024 and how my plans, which I was to announce in the last episode, quickly derailed as we hunkered down to strengthen our business in the midst of what seemed at the time like a disaster. Hi, you're listening to the Unlock Your Business podcast, where we discuss ways you can unlock your personal and business wealth with financial, investment and business strategies. I'm Rafi Pelagian. I'm a financial advisor and run financial services businesses that aim to help individuals, families, and small to medium business executives manage, grow, and protect their wealth. Through this podcast, I share my experience and knowledge from a financial advisor and business owner's perspective, in addition to my wins and struggles. So if you want an authentic and honest discussion on personal and business growth, investment, management, and unlocking wealth creation strategies, you have come to the right place. The Unlock Your Business podcast is brought to you by financial advice firm Manly Financial Services. Please see the website links in the show notes. We hope you enjoy the discussion. Okay, that's a little bit dramatic, but a lot happened in 2024. At the start of 2024, a friend of mine who's also a small business owner and entrepreneur and I coined a phrase, survive till 2025. And although it probably wasn't original, gosh, it was true. At the start of the year, I started working on my goals as I normally do at the start of 24, and all goals that had to do with the business. I want to earn X amount of money. I want to reduce debt amidst high rising interest rates. I want to hire X amount of people to grow my business. And then the big goal, the start of 2024, was climb Mount Aconcagua in January 2025, right now, January, February. Now, Aconcagua, if you don't know, is one of the 7 summits, one of the highest mountain peaks on all of the 7 continents. So we've got Kosciuszko in Australia, which is not very high, at about 2,200 meters. We've got Kilimanjaro, which I summited in 2023. We've got Mount Elbrus in Russia, probably not somewhere I want to go right now. We've got Mount Aconcagua in Argentina. We've got Denali in North America, Vinson in Antarctica, and of course, the big one, Mount Everest. Now, Aconcagua is 6,961 meters high, so almost 7,000 meters high, and it's 1,000 meters above the last highest peak that I've got to, which is Kilimanjaro. It's got a 33% summit success rate, which is mainly due to weather because of high winds and snow beyond that 6,000 meter height. Now, why do I do this? Well, I trek because I love high altitude trekking. It gives me clarity and mindfulness. You can't think about anything but the what's happening right in front of you there and then when you're in those particular environments. It helps me get comfortable with being extremely uncomfortable. Not to mention that you're experiencing these amazing, beautiful landscapes, which, just breathtaking. But again, it's not all beer and Skittles. The terrain is normally very difficult. Conditions are usually very uncomfortable, to say the least. It's cold, and it's really hard to breathe at altitude. All a part of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, the added intention that I was going to talk about in my podcast 12 months ago was that I want to show people out there that it's healthy to work towards something that seems out of reach, that is great to be uncomfortable. Uncomfortable should be something that we strive for as it leads to growth. Obviously, as business owners, the uncomfortable seems to be something that's more common. But it does really lead to growth, lead to resilience, growth, and strength. And to show people out there that if they switch their focus from what's not going well in their lives to something really big that they really want to achieve, the negative thoughts and worries become irrelevant, minuscule, and very easily manageable. So what happened? Why didn't I record this podcast, and why did all my plans derail? Well, life as a small business owner and entrepreneur happened. Costs continued to increase last year, including interest rates, and I realized that I needed to get back to a primarily a sales role, as I'd been probably working more in management for the last few years up until that time. And I had to, get out there and produce more and more revenue to try to fill the gap. As I said, up until that time, I was mainly dealing with reviewing and managing my existing clients, not really looking to build my client base. But I realised that I had to do that. Now, that's not all smooth sailing, again, as I said, because I spent a fair few years just managing my current clients and then managing the business, and not really looking to acquire new clients with issues and structures that I enjoy working on and solving. But the issues weren't all revenue related, as I found out later. Our actual culture and what we thought of as our culture were completely mismatched. So we thought culture was one way when in actual fact it was another way. People were working independently, not collaborating. We weren't really trying to help each other. A lot of people working mainly from home, and then having that attitude of what's in it for me. Now, we struggled for this for a while, but particularly in 2024, the first 6 months of the year, things had gotten, I guess, worse or more. Had been moving in this direction over the last few years. But as I said, it had gotten worse and worse from the start of 2024 to the middle of 2024. We were walking on eggshells near the end, around each other, really trying to not to say something that would upset each other. And we were telling peers outside of our business how great everything was when we really knew that we were lying to ourselves. Then came the catalyst for change. And isn't it funny that a catalyst for change is always a negative catalyst? I guess if you had something positive happen to you, you'd probably keep doing what you're doing and you wouldn't need to change. But we had a negative catalyst to change, and that negative was that one of our team members, who we worked well with and valued quite a bit, and who had generated a good amount of revenue for the firm, gave me notice that he was leaving just before June of last year. And at the time I thought, here comes the storm, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, couldn't get more difficult. And I started calculating the losses, just like most business owners and entrepreneurs would do. Go straight to the spreadsheets, do the calculations. What's the gap that I need to fill? And then, how am I going to fill that gap? Well, you can fill gaps in a number of ways. And the first thing I looked at was cost cutting, a natural thought. The problem with that is that we've actually cut a lot of our costs over the last year and a half to 2 years, and reduced a lot of that unnecessary spending. Came to to an office that's a little bit smaller, that's much more economical, and really works for us. Cut out a lot of the crap in the in our P&L, and at the end of the day, we'd already cut a lot of costs. So it really wasn't going to come from the cost side of the profit and loss statement. It was more so coming from the revenue side of the profit and loss statement. That's where the solution was going to come from. Now, at the same time, from a lifestyle perspective, I stopped going to the gym, which was really bad in hindsight, because I started to spiral down into that self-pity victimhood sort of way of thinking, and that led to many sleepless nights and different anxieties. Again, all in the life of a small business entrepreneur, right? Something that people outside of who don't manage businesses truly wouldn't understand. Now, in all this, during all this period, I forgot that the main asset within my business was the way that I could leverage us out of this mess. Let me say that again. I forgot that the main asset of my business was the way that we could improve and get out of this mess. And what do I mean by the main asset? Let me get to that. Well, because the solution really wasn't clear at the start, but I was lucky to discover it. In my desperation to find a solution to what I was going to do, how I was going to fill that gap of $100,000 a year. I can't cut costs. It's got to come from the revenue side. How can I get my team to go out there and work a little bit harder and a bit more efficiently and try to generate more work and more fees? Well, as I said, in my desperation to find a solution, I did the unthinkable, which for me, as a big skeptic, was I replied to an advertisement on Instagram. So an advertisement came up for business consulting and coaching, and they said they were able to generate $100,000 in revenue within the first 12 months sign here, or inquire here. Now, I did that. And then as soon as I did that, I thought, oh, here we go. Because I got an email straight away, which you'd expect, saying we've got a call from such and such. Now, luckily for me, the firm was legit. I went on to the sales call, and I had a session with a small business owner / business consultant. And the first thing he was able to do is just talk to me in a really authentic way. And you could feel straight off the bat that this guy's real. He doesn't know me from a bar of soap. I don't know him from a bar of soap. But this isn't a sales pitch, or it is a sales pitch, but it's not your standard sort of sales pitch. From there, I went on to another call with the owner of the firm. Again, there's only 3 or 4 coaches in this particular business. And he had some experience in our industry, and he reassured me that we're on the right track, and a few little things that we need to do, and that they could help us along that journey. And if at any time we didn't feel that we were getting value, then we could jump ship. What this firm does is they offer coaching and this individually, one-on-one, but they also offer a quarterly conference, which is quite unique, which focuses on a particular topic. Might be cash flow, might be finance, might be team orientated, whatever. And it helps, and what it allows you to do is to meet other business owners in completely different industries in a room, and you work through these issues as a collective. So the first step I went through with these legends before the first conference was all the hard stuff: personal vision, values, purpose, all that stuff, really looking 100% internally. Now, luckily, I'd done some of this work myself over the last few years, so I already had a bit of a leg up, but there were definitely some areas where I realized that my problems really were more internal than external, about the way I was thinking, the way I was approaching the team, the way I was sort of looking at things and dealing with problems. I went through this exercise, and some of the parts of the exercise were quite difficult to do. They really were, because not difficult because you don't know the answers, but difficult because you don't want to identify the answers. How you're treating particular people in your life, or how you're treating yourself from a mindset or a health perspective. All those really hard questions, sometimes they hurt. And I went through this process on the weekends, on my own in the office, because the office is quite quiet on the weekends, and it was really difficult to do, but extremely rewarding. I loved the process so much that we ran the same session with my team, and immediately it turned things around, because everyone in the business felt that same sort of vulnerability to an extent that I felt. They all felt it. Now, I mean, they're not worried about the P&L of the business or this or that, because they may not be equity owners. Obviously, there were directors that were worried about it, but there's other areas. Everyone's got their insecurities. Everyone's got their vulnerabilities. And by running this session, it almost seems like it was the first time we said it's okay to be vulnerable. I mean, we're not a blokey type of place, hoo-ha, but I guess in the past we used to be. That was the way business was sort of talked about amongst the team in the past, and we really haven't had an opportunity to talk about these things or to highlight issues like this from a place of caring and authenticity. And this particular process, without me really realizing at the time, I'm not that smart, it really struck a chord with the team, because I think the first thing it said is that, hey, how we think of how we think of each other, how we care about each other, and how we individually look at each other matters. And we've got to do a better job in that regard, because some of us don't believe in ourselves as much as we should, and that affects our performance, it affects our confidence, it affects this, it affects that. And obviously these are areas that not only work related, but they're all over the place. So they go through your whole, the consistent theme across your whole life. So at the end of the day, as I said, it really turned things around pretty quickly. From there, we set our organisational culture and our values, which are basically 6 ideals that we had highlighted. And then I designed and printed so they can be stuck on the wall at all times. Things like we're client-centric, things like we're proactive, things like, we're there to help each other and collaborate, and teamwork. We care about each other as a team. And then the overarching one is that, we want to make a positive impact to people's lives every day. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean one of our clients. It could be an associate. It could be someone that works in another company. Gosh, it could be someone on the street. At the end of the day, if you make a positive impact on someone's life, might be the smallest thing, helping someone with directions, whatever it is, I believe it all comes back to you. So, we had these signs printed and put up on the wall. And they're still up on the wall. They jump out at you when you walk in, even if you've had a bad weekend or you haven't had much sleep or you've had an argument with your kids are yelling at you or the dogs, whatever. You see these things up on the wall and it just straight away gets you in the right mindset of I've got to show up in a certain way. I owe it to my team. I owe it to myself. We've got this collective goal and we've got to go. With the advice of this group, we also developed a prize. So I had this Firebird sort of statue. I should have brought it in, which is like a wood carving, Native American wood carving sort of Firebird, which I had lying around the house. Someone had given it to me, and effectively we used that to be our trophy. And our trophy is given to the team member every month that best exemplifies our values for the previous month. And the best thing about this amazing Firebird wood carving is that it completely doesn't fit in an office setting. So when you win it, you put it on your desk, everyone can see it. It completely jumps out, and it's really important. And the voting for this is done by peers. We've got a thing on our SharePoint where people will vote on a poll for who best exemplifies our values for the previous month. That's who wins it for that month. Miraculously, the eggshells disappeared. There was no more walking around on eggshells. Collaboration took off, and I mean really took off, where people are helping each other with problems. If there's a client that someone can't really deal with, they're saying, Rafi, you take care of this, or Zare, or Paul, or Krishu, or Simo. It really did help. And people started having fun in the office. We started doing having Friday afternoon drinks in the office instead of going to a bar or something in Manly, having a couple of drinks before we go home. We have a couple of drinks here, and it allows us to talk about different things and have a bit of a joke and make fun of each other or ourselves, and then it sets the weekend off the right way, and then it allows us to come back from a good experience. Our last experience at work on a Friday afternoon was a positive experience, a fun experience. So that keeps going. The focus on performance and praising each other was back, strong as ever. And we've kept to evolving this process in our Monday morning meetings now, where we will talk about the wins that we achieved the previous week. Might be 2 or 3 wins each, and then the wins that we want to achieve that week. So that way we can sort of help each other and praise each other when we achieve those particular goals. So how else did this consulting group help me? And again, I'm not here trying to market them. I will put a link to their services because they've really changed my business and for in a positive way. I mean, I had all the answers, but I just needed someone to point me in the right direction, give me some motivation, put me in a framework of review and accountability that I could then share with my team and help work with them. Well, they help me set my calendar year end goals. So they look at these calendar year ends as what they call base camps. And then what we do is we break them down quarterly and we review them at every single quarterly session because, as you know, in small business, things change. Things change all the time. And every quarter you've got to refine things because sometimes something might come from left field. It doesn't mean you failed. It's just not possible to get there. Or maybe instead of going there, we'll go there first because that's going to help us better get to where we eventually want to go. So we refine them every quarterly session. The quarterly goals are then broken down into fortnightly sprints. So, you've got quarterly or 3 months of goals. And then each of those months are broken into into these fortnightly sprints. So you've basically got 6 fortnightly sprints of work that you want to get done. You want to get done in that 2 weeks, and then they help me allocate them to team members and help keep me accountable. Now, when I say help allocate them to team members, they don't know my team. They don't say, I'll give this to this person, give that to that person, but they make sure that my name's not against everything. Because as a business owner, you tend to own everything in terms of all the roles and responsibilities, and you don't, sometimes we're not really good at asking people to do extra work or I won't say extra work, but different sort of projects, and they help me ensure that I'm not taking on too much in the business, because obviously there's people with more skills, more time, and maybe more passion around these different tasks than I do. Whenever I need these guys, they're always there to answer questions or keep me on track or anything like that. Now, as I said, I'll share their web address in the notes below for those that are interested, and I really can't recommend these guys enough. The business is called Sean Sewell's Inner Circle, and you can Google them. As I said, the link will be in the description. So, in having this experience where we've started at the top and then everything sort of derailed and we've had to repair and get back there, how do we go? How did we go over that year? Well, in short, we achieved many of the goals that we set in July by the end of December. Not all of them, unfortunately. There's still a few that we've got to achieve, but we achieved a lot of them. And we achieved some goals that I didn't think we were actually goals, like the culture piece within the business. The revenue we lost from that departure of that team member has been more than made up. It has not actually been the issue. And again, as I said, the team's never been happier, stronger, or more productive. So what's in store for 2025? So as I said, we started here. I was going to make a podcast announcing I'm going to climb this mountain. Everything's fantastic, and then within a short period of time, everything turns to shit. And then we've come back up here. So where are we for 2025? So we've set a number of goals this year, and the focus is really on efficiency, on front end advice with our clients and service, trying to not revolutionize, but just advance the way financial advice is done and provided and delivered. We want to increase our presence amongst professional service firms and individuals in the northern beaches of Sydney, which is where we're based. We're also looking at some different business changes, some things we want to add, and other things that we want to detract, or not detract, but subtract. That's probably the better word, and that'll help us grow our business and be able to offer more people advice and service, particularly in the environment where people are in need for help and guidance. What we find is in the financial planning world, those that can't afford advice are the ones that need it the most, particularly at the moment, with costs, inflation, interest rates, and all that quite high. And at the end of the day, we're looking at ways in which we can better provide a service to be able to help some of these people even before they come to see us, maybe 6 months, 12 months before they come to see us to get any advice. And of course, like all businesses, we're exploring more and more ways to leverage technology to do what we do better, more efficiently, and to be able to provide a hell of a lot more value for our clients. And if all goes well, I've got a clear head as a business owner, and I can start focusing on training for my big adventure, Aconcagua will be on the cards in January/February 2026. But there'll be more info on this and my progress and fundraising activities for charity and whatnot coming soon. So I guess in conclusion, now that we're heading into hopefully a better trading environment with a potential rate cut environment this particular 12 months, I urge small business owners to look internally as well as externally. Most of the time we're looking at externally: markets, prices, costs, what can we do? Obviously, my description of our experience in 2024 will definitely strike a chord with other business owners in the way that things at the outset of 2024 were like, yep, everything's going to be fantastic. And then within a short period of time, we realized that all we needed to do is survive till 25. And obviously a hell of a lot of work to try to get us into the right frame and into the right in the right direction. I urge small business owners again, as I said, to look internally. How can you make work more enjoyable for yourself and for your team, more productive for yourself and for your team? It's not always about throwing money and lunch and benefits at people. It's not. People want to feel that they're growing. People want to feel that they're wanted. They want to feel that they're contributing to the bigger mission that they're achieving, not just for them, but for the business's why, the business's purpose. And if everyone feeds into that why, into that why are we here? What are we doing? What's the main reason why we do what we do? If everyone feeds into that particular shared goal, then the sky's the limit for any business. I also would like to wish the best of luck and to all business owners out there, small business owners out there in 2025. I see a lot of businesses not doing so well over the last year, and a lot of in our Manly area, a lot of businesses closed down, and wouldn't wish that on anyone. So I do wish you the best of luck. If there's any way that we can help, please contact us via our website, which we'll get to in a second. And even if we can have a chat, it might be some areas that we can help on the business side as well as the financial wealth personal financial wealth management side. If you enjoyed this discussion, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube or wherever you consume your content. It really would be appreciated to see if we're on the right track. And also, obviously, the more likes, better things get better in terms of getting this content out to more and more people. Please also subscribe for more content that will be covering, financial wealth creation, strategies for financial success and well-being, and small business discussions such as this one. So obviously our topics, as we mentioned in the podcast episodes last year, are going to be talking about personal wealth creation strategies as well as small to medium enterprise wealth creation strategies. And last but not least, please visit Sean Souls Inner Circle. It's Sean, S-E-A-N, Souls, S-O-O-L-E-S, Inner Circle, and contact them if you need help with your business success. Their website is www.seansoule, S-E-A-N-S-O-O-L-E.com. And please visit our website at manlyfs.com.au if you want more information on how our team can help you grow and achieve your financial goals and aspirations. Until then, as I said, best of luck for 2025. Keep on keeping on and take care. See you soon.